Herman Cain has gotten himself in a lot of trouble with his talk of being 100% pro-life, except for all the times he's not. He's made some curious remarks about how pro-choice he is. In other words, letting the woman decide in a great number of instances. It's confused everybody. He's going to add to that confusion.
I do not believe abortion should be legal in this country if that's the question.
So then you're saying, that if those circumstances come up and the family does make that decision, that they decide that that is the best thing for this young person, or she decides that on her own, that if that were their case, you know, that's what they decided, that it would be an illegal abortion that they would need to seek.
It would be an illegal abortion if the law, look, abortion should not be legal. That is clear. But if that family made a decision to break the law, that's that family's decision. That's all I'm trying to say.
Did that clarify it for anybody? He's like, I think the family should make the decision. I mean, I'd put him in jail for that decision, but I think they should make it. So wait, I don't even get it. Are you pro-life or pro-choice? Apparently nobody gets it. Even Fox News doesn't get it.
The abortion blunder was kind of inexplicable. I mean, it doesn't walk it back when you say it ought to be the person's choice, but oh yeah, it's also illegal. I'm sorry, that doesn't help. So I suspect that Herman Cain may have peaked and may begin to decline.
Mike Huckabee, who was very supportive of Herman Cain, I saw a whole show where he had him on and was praising him to no end, has said that Huckabee's comments were, quote, very pro-choice, and, quote, the damage has been done. And here comes Karl Rove.
And look, it's not just abortion. It's Cain has had a number of misstatements. I mean, we've had abortion. We had earlier this year, he didn't understand what the right of return was, the Palestinian demand for the right of return. He recently said he didn't understand what neoconservatives were when it came to foreign policy. He had a rather odd answer on Afghan policy. Basically, I'll figure it out once I get into office. The federal sales tax, the way he handled in the debate, apples and oranges, and, you know, it is a federal sales tax, and he just simply wouldn't acknowledge it. And then does he have a VAT, a value-added tax, in the form of his 9% corporate tax rate, or is it 9% corporate income tax rate? Yeah. The whole effect of this is to not create an image, I think, of him as being a flip-flopper. I think it is to create an image of him as not being up to this task.
Not a common day when I agree with Karl Rove, but it is that uncommon day where I think Rove is absolutely right. All the things he listed, we've listed on the Young Turks. This Herman Cain guy has no idea what he's talking about. Massively unprepared. Do we dare also agree with Bachmann? Let's find out.
In the last few weeks, we've seen this happen time and time again with various statements, and this is an issue you can't get wrong. The President of the United States can't get the abortion issue wrong, the life issue wrong. And President Obama's decision is that he's personally against abortion, but he doesn't believe that the government should intervene to protect human life. That's essentially what Herman Cain said in his responses.
Ooh, that is the heaviest charge you can lay against any Republican candidate, that he's the same as Obama. So, how is Herman Cain going to defend himself? Let's find out.
And people have said, well, he's just not ready for prime time. And you respond to that, how?
Find a perfect candidate or a perfect person who will not, at points in time in a presidential campaign, not make a misstatement, and I'll show you somebody that was hung on the cross 2,000 years ago.
So he says, what, you're blaming me for not being Jesus? Otherwise, I got this thing on lockdown. What am I going to do in Afghanistan? I don't know. Am I pro-choice or pro-life? I'm not quite sure. What do I do with my energy plan or my 999 plan? He just came up with a 909 plan. What the hell's going on here, right? Do I know what I'm doing? Of course not. What the hell's a neocon? Right of return? Huh? What name so? No, the guy is clearly not ready for prime time. He's not even trying. In fact, there's a whole series of articles, including in Time magazine today, about how he's not trying. There's representatives, political workers in Iowa, South Carolina, all coming out saying, I don't even know where this guy's campaign is. Senators, United States senators call saying, hey, can I speak to Herman Cain? Does anybody know how I can get in touch with him? And the answer is, we don't know. He hasn't even set up any shops. Meanwhile, he's in Texas and Tennessee. What the hell is he doing in Texas and Tennessee? He's doing a book tour. That's why so many of these folks say, I don't think this guy is serious. And in fact, here, let me give you 2 fun quotes. There's goodwill towards him, but there's almost no organization to speak of. That's a former chairman of the New Hampshire Republican Party, Fergus Cullen, and he's on the record. Another GOP operative in South Carolina says, we see nothing to resemble a real campaign. It just isn't there. And here's one other influential Republican to Time magazine saying, quote, is it a campaign or is it a book tour? By the way, his book is called This is Herman Cain, My Journey to the White House. Ironically, as he's trying to sell that book, he's not actually doing the work of running for the White House. And one last thing, one of these operatives in the 3 different articles I read, somebody from Iowa said, and it was somebody who was on his side, saying Herman Cain speaks very simply. She said, like a kid. So he'll repeat things, etc. But she was saying it as praise, like he says in ways that you could understand. Well, you get a sense of it because one of his motivational pamphlets is titled, Leadership Requires Leadership.